What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, man. I just got done listening to Anthony Joshua's interview on The Breakfast Club. And that is one lion manipulative dude that is absolutely full of, man, God, dog. How do they say it in the UK? Dung. This cat lied repeatedly, man. No, not just up for interpretation. Flat out lies, man, on multiple occasions in that interview. Shout out to Charlemagne the God. I ain't a big fan because I don't really mess with cats too much, but I got to tell you, man, that dude right there did his homework before he did that, man. Charlemagne the God played that about as well. They kind of had a devil's advocate thing going on between him and the other guy that was up there. I don't know his name. I don't watch the Breakfast Club all the time, so forgive me for not knowing their names, but I am familiar with Charlemagne the God, and he asked some very poignant questions, man. And Anthony Joshua just lied. Before I get into this, I'm going to talk about just a few specific. I'm not going to talk about, the he said, she said aspects of it. I'm just going to talk about the flat out untruths. Now, before I do that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, I would hope that you'd accept my invitation to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified when we release more videos. Also, check me out in the live streams that we do every morning, Monday through Friday, between 10:15 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, right after Trail Boxing Talk. And also subscribe to Black Fight Fan TV on Trail Boxing Talk. You really get some very, very great interviews and conversations that go on before our live stream. And also check out the Patreon. Now, like I said, man, I'm just going to go through, and this is for boxing fans. I'm not trying to convince people from the UK. I'm talking to boxing fans that already know this information, which most of the subscribers on my channel already know this information because we've been talking about it for a while now. Number one, I'm going to give you them, then I'm going to go through them, right? Proof of funds. Luis Ortiz, 4 major championship belts. Fury wanted a flat fee and not a percentage. And then just to throw in it, it took people 10 years to get up the nerve to fight anybody. Then I'm going to comment on the fact that when Charlemagne asked him, well, yeah, okay, what about you, Anthony? Who have you fought? What about the people that say you ain't fought anybody? The only person that he would let out of his mouth was Vladimir Klitschko. And when he started talking about the other ones, he was like, he only mentioned the names of Vladimir Klitschko and Joseph Parker. But let's go through the stories. He says that, yeah, I know I asked for the $50 million, but we asked for proof of funds and they wouldn't give us proof of funds. Eddie Hearn, after that issue came up, Eddie Hearn said they never asked for proof of funds. They didn't need proof of funds. So which is it? Which is it, Anthony? Did you guys ask for proof of funds or did you not ask for proof of funds? Which one is it? Because Eddie said you never asked for proof of funds. Of course they have funds. We just wanted to know where the funds were coming from. That's what Eddie Hearn said. But now you're in front of the American public telling that lie that you asked for proof of funds and they wouldn't give it to you. I don't want to belabor that. We all know that's not the truth. It's foolish on its face. It's just a regurgitation of the same nonsense that people have been talking about for a while. Then he says, Charlemagne impressed me. He said Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz. Why won't you fight Luis Ortiz? Anthony Joshua said that Luis Ortiz didn't ask for the fight until after they had already signed for the fight for Jarrell Big Baby Miller. That is a falsehood. That is a falsehood. Anthony Joshua mentioned, and I'm not going to give you guys proof of this because you're not going to believe it anyway, or you're going to believe it and you're just going to make up a lie and defend it. But God dog, man, how are you going to jump out there and lie on Luis Ortiz on the Breakfast Club, man? Luis Ortiz said, hey, I heard you mention my name, Anthony Joshua, and I think that you're a man of your word. I don't think you're afraid. If you aren't able to work out this deal with Big Baby Miller, I'm available for almost anything. Luis Ortiz wanted to fight Anthony Joshua after the Vladimir Klitschko fight. It's just not true what he said. The next one, he says with a straight face that he's got 4 of the major championship belts. Now I know why these AJ fans keep saying that stupidity. There are only 4 major championship belts. The WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. Those are the only major championship belts. Anthony Joshua has 3 of them. He does not have 4. He has 3. And to say when he says he has 4 belts, that's one thing. You can play with words. He said 4 major championship belts. He has 3. And he knows the distinction. Anthony Joshua is a professional boxer. He knows who the sanctioning bodies are. He knows who the champions are. For him to say that is just a flat out lie. That he's telling to people that he assumes don't know anything about boxing, do not know what the sanctioning body and what those belts are. The next thing, Tyson Fury didn't take a fight with him because he did not want to get a percentage. He wanted to get a flat fee for the fight. Frank Warren didn't. The offer was sent to Tyson Fury. It wasn't sent to Frank Warren. And Frank Warren said that the offer that they got was laughable, derisory, laughable. Not that he wanted a flat fee for a pay-per-view fight. Anthony Joshua, man, come on, man. Come on. The dude I was like, man, for real? I have a hard time wanting to talk bad about him, but how can I not talk bad about him when he says things like that? He said he framed this argument that he was the only one with the nerve to fight Vladimir Klitschko. Why did it take everybody so long to do this? Talking about Tyson Fury, talking about Deontay Wilder. Leaving Deontay Wilder to the side, how could it be that it took Tyson Fury all this time to fight somebody credible when he fought Vladimir Klitschko 2 years before Anthony Joshua did? How is that possible? He frames it as if and for Deontay Wilder, he's framing it as if they weren't fighting, didn't spend the majority of that 10 years that they're talking about underneath Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko and Vladimir Klitschko were the guys that were reigning in the heavyweight division. All these other guys that Anthony Joshua was bragging about having fought were nobodies during the time that Vladimir Klitschko and Vitaly Klitschko were the champions. Carlos Takam wasn't some big deal when Vladimir Klitschko was holding the belt. And neither was Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker picked up a spare belt that was dropped by Tyson Fury. But somehow he was this incredible. Oh my God, man. I'm trying to keep it just to the directly dishonest things the guy said. The obviously dishonest things that the guy said. But now, I've always seen there's a bunch of casual fans that follow this guy. But as a guy, somebody that pays attention to boxing, for you to say, man, that you got 4 major championship belts, how is that true? How does he not know that that's not true? This is the same guy that said that he'd never heard of lineal before. He also frames this argument that like the reason that he came to the UK was came to the United States was because when nobody else wanted to fight him. So, hey, man, he'll just come over here. And since he can't get them to come over there to the UK, he'll come over to the United States. Didn't have anything to do with the fact that all the money, the vast majority of the money is in the United States for boxing. And the DAZN is trying to break into the market. Ain't got nothing to do with that, huh, Anthony? Look, man, you guys can be fans of this dude if you want. Anthony Joshua is just a flat out liar, man. There's just no way around. There's no way around it, man. I mean, and I got to tell you, I think Charlemagne did a good job in that interview for somebody that probably is not, first of all, he can't just be out there openly insulting to the guy, right? He's being snide, and you can tell Charlemagne wasn't buying it. Because when he said, who have you, basically he's like, well, what about the people that say you ain't fought nobody? Who have you fought? And then he stuttered. Well, stats and facts. I start in my 16th fight, dude. I'm asked who you fought, not how early along in your career you fought. Who did you fight? Who was it that you fought in your 16th fight? Charles Martin? Who's Charles Martin? Why do you think Charles Martin is such a great fighter? Where did Charles Martin get his belts? Right? Vladimir Klitschko, you say Vladimir Klitschko, then you say Joseph Parker. Why'd you skip over Carlos Takam, and why didn't you mention Alexander Povetkin? And you're right here admitting that Jarrell Big Baby Miller's not a challenge and he's not an elite fighter. But you're here fighting him. But why? Because nobody else would fight you. Because they didn't want the money that you were offering them, right? But in the midst of contradicting himself, says, hey, you don't get what you're worth. You get what you're. Now, this was the moment of truth in there for this dude. When he said, look, man, I want to get, maybe some of it's my fault. I didn't give them the offer that they thought they should get. But somebody stopped me. This is Anthony Joshua. Somebody stopped me and said, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. So look, man, yeah, they might deserve that money, but we're not going to give it to them. And they still not trying to give it to them. Anyway, man, I'll let you go watch the interview. If you're a real hardcore boxing fan, man, just try not to. The interview starts off well. He's giving his life story. He's giving a spiel about, how, he was a street dude, quasi street dude, and how he, was doing it for his family, all that good stuff, all the stuff that everybody in boxing talks about, that everybody is in life is trying to do, right? Everybody's trying to figure out how they can most people rather, are trying to figure out how they can take care of their family. Same thing applies to Luis Ortiz that you lied on. Same thing applies to Tyson Fury that you lied on. Same thing applies to Deontay Wilder who you lied on. Anyway, man, it is what it is. It's ridiculous. And with that, I'm out. Peace.